Well, I work really closely with Paul Gosar, who's on the Resources Committee, and we're constantly involved in these kinds of issues. And, you know, we just voted a couple weeks ago to make it more stringent, more difficult for the federal government to do takings, you know, through the Antiquities Act. You know, to create a new national park, national, you know, federal land, that kind of thing. But one of the other, you know, the lands issue is only part of it. The federal government takes a lot of property in the name of environmental issues too. The hearing that we're going to have Tuesdays in relationship to the Clean Water Act and how they want to expand, the EPA wants to expand their purview over clean water to basically go into newer places that they haven't been before in regulating, and a lot of times that means confiscating land from people. I'm a big believer in the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, which is the Private Property Rights Amendment, and that is that if it ever gets to the point where the federal government or the state or local governments have to condemn land, that it's a fair and reasonable process and that the person is compensated based on a fair market value. But I don't want to even get there. I want us to, I mean, in the West, we're disproportionately federal land contributors. Those states that were later in the Union ended up giving a lot more of their state. Us, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, give a disproportionate share of our land back to the federal government, and I'm going to do everything in my power to try to rein that in and make it more complicated for the federal government to access our lands and make it more simple for them to give it back. So anyway, I'm a real states' rights kind of guy too. The 10th Amendment to me is sacred, and so I'm going to do everything I can to try to fight on behalf of our public lands and make sure that they stay private lands.